Get him! On the ground now, hands up. Cuff him.
Breaking. Career criminal Ramon Velazquez Rodas just caught a 13-year federal sentence. A massive DEA Tallahassee raid busted him. Is 13 years...
Just because of greed, a treasure trove of fentanyl methamphetamine along with a gun was stolen and turned into a 13-year federal prison sentence. How could the surprise raid in Tallahassee capture the man with multiple criminal records, Ramon Velazquez Rodas? This is not only a shocking case, but also a chilling wake-up call about the heavy price to pay when sliding down the path of crime. How did the DEA and local police coordinate to set up the net for this criminal? Let's explore the whole truth right here. What do you think about this appropriate sentence? Please leave a comment below to share your perspective. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next dramatic crime profile videos. On a day in April of 2026 in the city of Tallahassee, Florida, a court session took place that carried profound educational value for the entire community. Ramon Velazquez Rodas, a 46-year-old man residing here, had to receive a sentence of 13 years in federal prison from the federal court. This sentence stemmed from the acts of possessing methamphetamine and fentanyl with the intent to distribute, along with possessing a stolen handgun while the defendant had a prior criminal record. This story is not just an individual case, but also a cautionary lesson about the consequences of choosing the wrong path in life. The process leading to the sentence originated from a large-scale drug investigation conducted on the 11th day of August in 2022. Law enforcement agencies coordinated closely to execute a search warrant at a house suspected of being a hub for illegal activities in Tallahassee. There, Ramon Velazquez Rodas was found to be present, and clear evidence was carefully collected. This evidence included a large quantity of methamphetamine and fentanyl, along with a stolen handgun and approximately $2,900 in cash. All of it pointed to signs of systematic drug distribution activities. Ramon Velazquez Rodas' record shows that he had multiple prior convictions related to theft and possession of controlled substances. Because of this criminal history, the law had prohibited him from possessing any type of weapon. Violating this prohibition further increased the severity of the case. Law enforcement agencies worked tirelessly to ensure that justice was carried out in a fair and transparent manner. This helped protect the community from the potential risks posed by illegal drugs and weapons. Special Agent Daniel Escobar from the DEA's Tampa field office shared that the recent weeks had been a busy time as the DEA and its partners had brought many drug traffickers in North Florida before justice. He emphasized that the DEA would continue to hunt down those who are poisoning the community. These words reflect the strong commitment of law enforcement in preserving security and health for the people. Each successful case like this contributes to building a safer living environment for families. United States Attorney John P. Heekin for the Northern District of Florida formally announced this sentence. He described it as another victory for the citizens of the area. His office is committed to continuing to strictly prosecute similar cases in order to bring clean streets free of the shadow of drugs. These efforts help people feel more at ease when living and working in the community. This is proof of the justice system's determination to protect the common good. The sentence given to Ramon Velazquez Rodas also takes place within the broader context of the Take Back America campaign supported by President Donald J. Trump. This campaign mobilizes resources from the Department of Justice to dismantle drug trafficking networks that are negatively affecting communities. Thanks to that, many serious cases have been handled promptly. The community benefits from concrete actions aimed at eliminating factors harmful to public health and safety. This case was the result of close coordination among three major agencies: the Drug Enforcement Administration (DEA), the Tallahassee Police Department, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives (ATF). This cooperation brought high efficiency in evidence collection and law enforcement. Each agency played an important role in helping the case be resolved professionally. This reminds us that the power of unity is always greater than individual efforts. When looking back at the story of Ramon Velazquez Rodas, we clearly see the heavy consequences of getting involved with drugs and illegal weapons. Wrong choices not only affect oneself, but also cause harm to family and the surrounding community. Drugs such as methamphetamine and fentanyl can destroy a person's physical and mental health. They lead to addiction, job loss, and even unnecessary tragedies in society. Therefore, every individual needs to clearly recognize the value of living a healthy life and obeying the law. The lesson from this sentence carries high educational value for young people and the entire community. It reminds us that no one is allowed to violate the law under any circumstances. People with criminal records need to pay special attention to regulations prohibiting the possession of weapons and controlled substances. Reoffending not only extends the time served, but also eliminates opportunities for self-rehabilitation. The community should work together to build a supportive environment that helps everyone stay away from the temptations of drugs and crime. In daily life, we often witness the negative impacts of drugs on families. Parents can lose their children because of addiction, or children can lose their parents because of arrests. Stories like these make us deeply concerned about our shared responsibility in protecting the future generation. Community education about the dangers of drugs needs to be strongly promoted through schools, families, and social organizations. Every citizen has an important role in creating a drug-free society. Law enforcement agencies have proven that with good coordination, they can effectively prevent criminal activities. The 13-year prison sentence is not only a punishment, but also a clear message that the law will not tolerate behaviors that harm the community. This encourages people to cooperate by providing information when they detect suspicious signs. The active participation of the community will contribute to making anti-drug campaigns achieve higher results. Let us all reflect on the value of an honest and responsible life. Ramon Velazquez Rodas once had the opportunity to change, but he chose the path that led to serious consequences. This story teaches us that every action has a corresponding consequence. Those standing at a crossroads need to choose the right direction for their own benefit and that of their loved ones. That is the way to build a better future for everyone. The Take Back America campaign not only focuses on prosecution, but also emphasizes protecting the community from violent crime and drugs. Thanks to that, many families have been able to live in a safer environment. These efforts contribute to minimizing the harm from fentanyl and methamphetamine, which are causing great concern in society. Every citizen deserves to enjoy a peaceful and healthy community. That is the goal that law enforcement agencies are steadfastly pursuing. When the sentence was read, many people in the Tallahassee community expressed their support for the court's decision. They recognized that justice was being carried out strictly. This creates motivation for law enforcement to continue their work. At the same time, it also encourages people to participate in local anti-drug programs. Collective efforts will bring positive changes to the whole society. Another important lesson is the role of education in preventing crime. Parents need to spend time talking with their children about the dangers of drugs. Schools should integrate legal education content into the curriculum. Thanks to that, the younger generation will have the correct awareness and know how to refuse wrongful invitations. That is the foundation for building a strong and safe community in the long term. We also need to recognize that people have the ability to change if they receive appropriate support. Rehabilitation and community reintegration programs play an important role for those who have violated the law. However, strict compliance with legal regulations remains the key factor. The sentence given to Ramon Velazquez Rodas reminds us that there are no exceptions for violating behavior. All citizens are equal before the law. What do you think about the role of the community in supporting law enforcement agencies in fighting drugs? What can each family do to educate their children to stay away from controlled substances? And how can we work together to build a society without the shadow of drug crime? Continuing the story, we clearly see that the coordination between the agencies has created combined strength. The DEA brings expertise in drug investigations, while the Tallahassee Police Department provides local information. The ATF focuses on handling illegal weapons. This combination ensures that every aspect of the case is thoroughly considered. The result is a fair and convincing sentence that has been issued. In the context where fentanyl and methamphetamine are causing many regrettable deaths, nationwide cases like this become even more important. They help cut off the supply and prevent the flow of harmful substances into the community. Each successful sentence contributes to reducing risks for the public, especially teenagers who are easily influenced. That is why the community needs to strongly support anti-drug campaigns. United States Attorney John P. Heekin emphasized that his office will not stop making efforts to bring safety to the citizens of the Northern District of Florida. This commitment reflects the responsibility of the justice system toward the people. It also encourages everyone to trust the law and participate in protecting the community. A civilized society always rests on the foundation of respecting and complying with common regulations. When thinking about Ramon Velazquez Rodas' journey, we realize that a criminal record is not a reason to continue committing crimes. On the contrary, it is an opportunity to reflect on life and choose the path of rehabilitation. Many people have succeeded in changing thanks to support from family and society. However, reoffending, as in this case, leads to even heavier consequences. Therefore, self-awareness is the deciding factor. The Tallahassee community and surrounding areas are benefiting from the tireless efforts of law enforcement. The streets are becoming cleaner and people feel more at ease when going out. Children can play without worrying about the risk from drugs or weapons. That is the fruit of persistence and close coordination among the involved parties. Each of us has the responsibility to maintain and promote this achievement. Education about the legal consequences of possessing drugs needs to be widely disseminated. Many young people have not fully realized the seriousness of methamphetamine and fentanyl. These substances not only cause addiction but also threaten lives. Community media campaigns should use real stories to illustrate the lesson. Thanks to that, everyone will have stronger motivation to maintain a healthy lifestyle. A humanistic aspect in this case is the message of hope for those who are struggling with addiction. The sentence is not only a punishment but also a reminder to seek help in a timely manner. Rehabilitation support programs implemented by the government and non-governmental organizations have helped save many lives. However, success only comes when the individual voluntarily cooperates and commits to change. That is a journey that requires persistence from both sides. Have you ever wondered how a wrong decision in a moment can lead to consequences that last for how many years? The story of Ramon Velazquez Rodas is living proof of that. It encourages us to think carefully before acting, especially with the temptations of controlled substances. At the same time, it reminds us that the law always exists to protect the common interests of society. The agents and officers involved in the case spent many months carefully collecting evidence. Their work requires sacrifice and a high sense of responsibility. Thanks to that, justice was carried out in a timely manner. The community should express gratitude to these silent soldiers. Support from the people will give them additional motivation to complete their mission of protecting society. In the Take Back America campaign, the Department of Justice has deployed many resources to deal with transnational crime and drugs. The case in Tallahassee is part of that great effort. It contributes to the common goal of completely eliminating harmful gangs. People across the country are witnessing positive changes from these campaigns. That is a good signal for the future of the community. When the sentence was issued, many families in Tallahassee felt more relieved. They knew that the justice system was operating effectively to protect their children. Parents could feel more at ease when their children went to school or played outdoors. That is the profound humanistic value that we need to cherish and preserve. A safe community will promote sustainable economic and cultural development. Let us all spread the educational message from this story to friends and loved ones. Every conversation about the dangers of drugs can save a life. Schools and churches can organize regular workshops to raise awareness. The active participation of the whole society will create great strength in the war against controlled substances. That is how we build a brighter future for the next generation. Have you ever participated in any local anti-drug activities? Is the law strict enough to deter violations? And what more can we do to support those who are trying to quit drugs and return to normal life? Continuing to analyze the case, we see that the seizure of the stolen handgun increased the severity of the sentence. Because Ramon Velazquez Rodas had a criminal record, possessing a weapon was considered dangerous behavior toward the community. This emphasizes the importance of weapon control regulations for individuals with criminal histories. The law sets up these barriers to prevent violence and protect innocent people. Legal experts assess that the 13-year prison sentence is an appropriate punishment given the nature of the case. It balances punishment with sending a deterrent message. At the same time, the court also considered the defendant's personal record to ensure a fair decision. The American justice system always strives to enforce the law in a transparent and humanistic manner. That is the foundation for the public's trust in justice. In the context where fentanyl is causing thousands of deaths each year, nationwide efforts like this case become even more urgent. Methamphetamine also causes long-term damage to mental health. The community needs to cooperate closely with the authorities to detect and prevent drug dealing spots early. The vigilance of the people is the first layer of protection for society. Do you agree that education is the key to preventing drug crime? Do parents have enough time to guide their children about the dangers of controlled substances? And how can law enforcement agencies continue to receive trust from the people in upcoming campaigns? Throughout the investigation process, the officers had to face many challenges, but they still completed their duties professionally. Their work requires persistence and courage for the common good. Thanks to that, justice was enforced and the community was protected. We should give thanks to those who day and night protect Social Security. This recognition will encourage them to continue contributing. The sentence given to Ramon Velazquez Rodas also reminds us of the importance of background checks before allowing weapon possession. The legal system has designed these regulations to minimize risk from individuals with criminal records. Strict compliance will help prevent many regrettable incidents. The community needs to support reasonable control measures to protect overall safety. As we conclude this story, we see that news is not only information but also a vivid life lesson. It encourages us to live responsibly and respect the law. Every daily decision can affect our own future and that of those around us. Choose the right path to avoid regret later. That is the profound humanistic message from the case in Tallahassee.